So I'm assuming that you clicked on this video because you want to get a smoother Minecraft game. Or maybe you were just bored and you just clicked on this video. But that's besides the point. Recently, I've been using this mod which makes my game 10 times smoother. And that's not an exaggeration. It literally makes my game 10 times smoother. So make sure to stick around because you do not want to miss this feature. Let's get into it. So for this feature to actually be effective, you need to have two things. One, you need to have Optifine, and two, you need to have motion blur shaders. Now the motion blur shaders can be pretty much any motion blur shader, but the one I would recommend is the Pensa 73 one, because the motion blur isn't that strong and the effect is pretty good. Right now I actually decided to turn off this feature, and as soon as I turned it off, boy, I saw a difference. See, what we're going to do with this mod is, if we open the Lunar client, we basically just search up motion blur. That's right. We're putting motion blur on top of motion blur. The reason we're not using this alone is because if we use the Lunar mod alone and not the Optifine one, then the game will just be ugly. And so what this does is it pretty much maximizes the motion blur and the smoothness coming from it. So what we're going to do, we're going to go to the options, and then you'll see this little scroll here. First things first, we need to make sure that old blur is off. So if it's checked, then make sure to just turn it off by clicking it. And now the value. Normally it should be at 1 or 10, I don't know, it's definitely one or the other. I would recommend putting it at 5, and here's my reason for that. Anything above 6 really just makes this motion blur, the Lunar one, pretty much overtakes the Optifine mod or the shader. But if it's too low, then the shader would overtake the Lunar mod. And I think the value 5 pretty much evens that out. But that's pretty much just my opinion, so have a play around with the scroll, because of course, depending on what Optifine motion blur you have, this scroll wheel could have a higher value or a lower value. It depends how strong the shader is. If you have the Pensa 73 motion blur, then I'd say keep at 5. So now that we're done with the settings, we go back and just let's make sure that we actually enable this. And bam, just like that, is much smoother. This is just one thing that's pretty much a problem with this, but it's something that will go away once you get used to this mod. So this happens only on 60 Hz monitors. And that is when you go in any inventory, whether it is the player inventory, the chest inventory, furnace, crafting table, any inventory. When you exit, you get like this blink, and it will be annoying at first, but once you start using it, you'll pretty much ignore it. That is the mod, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you found this helpful. If you want to see more helpful Minecraft things like these, make sure to click this video right here. And if you want to see some epic Hypixel content, then make sure to click the one right underneath that video. It's been your boy Trash Ping, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace out.